From diplomacy to personal visions, we bring you inspirational stories of foreign ambassadors and diplomats across Thailand. Here on Radio Thailand FM 88. This is The Ambassador.
Swadika, welcome to The Ambassador, a weekly program that invites foreign ambassadors to share with us diplomatic careers, lifestyles, and visions. I'm Kimmy or Kim Paniknisa Grairek. And this episode to be continued on the occasion of the 75 years of Thailand's UN membership. We continue our UN month conversations with the UN country team in Thailand, focusing on the new UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework 2022 to 2026, which will guide the UN's work for the next 5 years in supporting of the Thai government to advance the Sustainable Development Goals. Today we welcome Kun Sooksiri Chamsuk. She is the Deputy Representative for UNIDO in Thailand and a Regional Program Officer. สวัสดีค่ะ
Hi, สวัสดีค่ะ Everyone is Sooksiri Chamsuk. I'm a Deputy Representative for UNIDO Regional Office in Thailand, and then I'm also a Regional Program Officer for this office. I've been working for UNIDO in Thailand in particular to formalize new projects, as well as representing UNIDO in UN country team together with my regional director. Apart from this, I am also working with other countries as well, Myanmar and Malaysia. On top of this, I also work with the UN regional agencies on regional public goods and lesson learned and policy advice to the countries in Asia and the Pacific. My area of expertise is on low carbon, clean economy, as well as circular economy.
So as part of the UN country team in Thailand, can you tell us more about the work you do and how it contributes to the collective work of the UN team?
Right. Thank you so much for this opportunity. UNIDO stands for United Nations Industrial Development Organization. We are a specialized agency under the United Nations. Our mandate is to help member states, in this case Thailand, to achieve inclusive and sustainable industrial development, or ISID. UNIDO in Thailand has been working on a number of projects. Collectively, we have around 20 or 22 million US dollar portfolio. To deliver these projects, we partner with various ministries, organizations, and stakeholders, such as Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, and National Economic and Social Development Council. We also work with private sector, such as Federation of Thai Industries. We also work with the Office of the Eastern Economic Corridor, and some projects we work at the municipality level, such as we work with Layong Municipality.
So under the cooperation framework, there are 3 outcomes, which are inclusive and green economy, human capital development, and reducing inequalities. So, what is your role in delivering the cooperation framework outcomes?
Right. We are honored to be a co-convener of this outcome 1, which is inclusive and green economy, together with UNEP, the UN environment. This is also mainly because, as I mentioned earlier, mainly our UNIDO's portfolio in Thailand is, contributing towards many SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals on, clean and low carbon energy, job creation, low carbon and green industrial development, climate action, circular economy, and South-South cooperation. So in this regard, we are so honored that we are co-convening this group, the Outcome 1, with UNEP, the UN Environment. Now, the Outcome 1 is the first strategic outcomes of the cooperation framework aimed at helping Thailand to achieve high value-added and green economy premised on principles of eco-friendly living to support climate action, biodiversity conservation, and disaster management. So it is our intention, it is by design that this outcome resonates very well with the 13th National Economic and Social Development Plan. And just lastly, on introduction of this outcome, the key members of these outcomes are UNDP, FAO, UNISDR, which is the risk and disaster risk management of the UN, UNICEF, ITC, the UN Environment, and UNIDO. And of course, the list may not end here, but these are the core kind of agencies.
What are the 3 key things that must be done immediately for Thailand to shift gear on this issue?
Well, of course, among the 3 priority issues, the first one is, I'm sure everyone is now aware of the government's vision of the bio-circular and green economic model as a national agenda to promote more inclusive and sustainable growth, or the BCG in short. However, though, in addition to this, the vision of the BCG model, our group kind of interpretation of the BCG model extends to wider areas. For example, it includes working towards more efficient, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable agricultural and food system. Our interpretation of the BCG model also includes natural-based solutions for sustainable development. So that's the first priority. The second one, fresh in people's kind of memory, of course, is the climate action. Yeah, just very recently at the COP26, Thailand affirmed its commitment to address challenges of climate change, pledging to reach carbon neutrality in 2050 and the net zero emissions before 2065. So in this case, our work aims at helping Thailand moving towards climate resilient economy while reduction of the greenhouse gas emissions. And the last priority, we craft these transboundary issues together. These issues include marine plastic pollution and air pollution. These are like for example. So we have been working with Thai stakeholders to identify solutions for these transboundary issues, as well as working with Thailand when negotiation with other countries on these transboundary issues, such as ASEAN.
It's interesting because you just mentioned about the BCG model related to the 2022 that Thailand hosts the APEC, right? What is the UN in Thailand doing to support this outcome?
With UNIDO portfolio, we have one project that has 5 UN agencies working together, and majority of these 5 UN agencies are part of this outcome 1. This project called Partnership for Action on Green Economy, or PAGE in short, PAGE. And we work with the National Economic and Social Development Council as the lead agency from the Thai side. And under this PAGE project, we will be focusing how the BCG model and the SDGs are interplayed and kind of horizontally linked together. So that's in the pipeline. The outputs perhaps will be, kind of pay out perhaps by a year from now. So we're working toward this, the BCG model and the SDGs, how they interplay to each other. Next, still stay with UNIDO's kind of a project. We help and we work with private sector in helping and working with them to cut carbon emissions and as well as other types of pollutions as well. So we work with the FTI, the Federation of Thai Industries, and Department of Industry Work, together with other partners, is on a project called Industry Urban Symbiosis, in short. So this project aims to reduce greenhouse gases emissions from industries as well as the releases of other harmful chemicals from industry and urban fabric.
Any advice to the general public on what they can do to actively participate in this outcome, especially maybe the new generation, like including the youth?
Right. Thank you for this question. We have, I'm not sure whether any audience or you have heard about this, but in this group we have a role model because on the youth engagement, because we believe that youth have the possibility to contribute to shift Thailand towards a sustainable and low carbon economy. And lastly, I just want to conclude this conversation by highlighting our famous role model, the UN Environment Goodwill Ambassador for Thailand, Mr. Alex Randall. He has been working as the UN Environment Goodwill Ambassador to raise environmental awareness among children. And he participates in both UN Environment Forum, regional and global forum, as well as he does work with students in communities and let's say to do this, plastic waste collection from the sea. So those type of activities that Kun Alex has been, devoted for. So that's our role model. And yes, we do believe that youth engagement plays a critical role for us, the UN, to achieve this outcome one. Please be encouraged to visit www.unido.org. That's unido.org.
Thank you very much, Kun Sooksiri Chamsuk, a deputy representative for UNIDO in Thailand and a regional program officer. So please stay tuned on the UN Month on the Ambassador Program on the occasion of 25 years of Thailand's UN membership. We've come to the end of the program, so you can always find us at Facebook page Radio Thailand World Service and FM88 Radio Thailand English to discover the rest of editions and other stories. So stay safe, stay healthy. I am Kimmy or Kim Panik Nisha Grayerk. See you next week. สวัสดีค่ะ
From diplomacy to personal visions, we bring you inspirational stories of foreign ambassadors and diplomats across Thailand. Here on Radio Thailand FM 88. This is The Ambassador.